Good morning. I'm getting better at recognizing people that with their mask on even. So I've got some of you. Well, good morning. Thanks again for coming out today at T-minus about 20 and a half hours before Election Day. It's finally just about here. After two postponements of the presidential preference primary and one of the general primary, the big day is almost here. But it's going to be a different election day than we've ever seen. We are still in the grips, albeit a loosening one, of COVID-19. Fewer people will be able to be in the room voting than we used to see due to social distancing. Time between use of the machines will be longer because of disinfecting protocols. The lines will be longer because we will be standing 6 feet apart. I see some of you aren't doing that here today. And another big change that we expected to be the main discussion point will be the use of paper in a statewide election for the first time in 2 decades. This will be new to the vast majority of voters, but we know it's working. We set a new record for in-person advance voting in any primary in Georgia history, with nearly 325,000 voters taking advantage of this option. The previous record was 255,000 in the 2016 presidential primary. No state in the country has maintained as many voting options as Georgia during the COVID-19 crisis. 16 days of in-person early voting, election day, and of course, the absentee by mail route. In this historic moment, in spite of the obstacle of a worldwide pandemic that could have prevented hundreds of thousands of voters from voting, we now have the highest turnout of primary voters in the history of this state. We will have over 1 million voters vote from the health and safety of their home, and that was a goal. Right now, over 1.2 million Georgians have already voted, and that means we have already reached the record turnout for a general primary in Georgia. But let's talk about tomorrow, what it will look like for all of us. We don't really know exactly what that'll look like. We do know we have fewer polling places in many counties. Some counties will have mega polling locations with over 10,000 voters. With our health protocols, we are guaranteed to see lines tomorrow. That is why I've spent so much time trying to get voters to vote absentee. So while we're on this subject, if you still have that absentee ballot on your kitchen table, please vote it and drop it off in a drop box or at your county registrar's office by 7 p.m. on Tuesday. That will help all voters. Working in close conjunction with the counties, we've all worked hard to keep as many polling locations open as possible. We've distributed PPE, and every county has that to keep voting safe. We also have sent all county styluses that can be cleaned after each use to allow voters to interact with the voting machines without having to touch them. It will be safe. But given the constraints of COVID, there will be realities we will have to be facing. There will be lines. This is a new voting system. There will be a learning curve for both election workers and for voters. All of this will take time. I want to let you and the media and candidates know we will not begin to release results until each and every precinct is closed. I think that is the fairest thing for all candidates. It will take longer for us to get results. When you add paper, that is what happens. When I was elected, I wanted to approach my role in elections as a nonpartisan way. I have made decisions based on what will lead to the best election administration for voters and election workers, and I know I've done that. That is why I know that lines are unacceptable. People should be able to easily vote. That is why I'm working to pass Senate Bill 463 that will require counties to open more polling locations or deploy more equipment to alleviate the pressures of lines if they have 2,000 or more voters and a line of an hour or more at any point during the day. While this can't help tomorrow, it can help to have better elections in the near future. The problem we have is not everyone views election administration as a nonpartisan issue. After years of complaining about poll closures, each and every Democrat state senator voted against taking action to fix the problem. solely because I and Republicans were proposing it. That's wrong, and that's one of the big problems in our nation. That bill is in the House now, and I would call on the Democrats to put partisanship aside and support my bill to add polling places and shorten lines when the legislature comes back June 15th. Can't we all agree that we should work for shorter lines? I certainly think so. That said, we hope for a good election day tomorrow. The weather doesn't look like it's going to cooperate. This election day will look different. There will be lines. Voters will be interacting with a whole new system. Results will be slower. Things would be better if we weren't in this pandemic, but it is what it is. And please, if you have that absentee ballot, please vote it and turn it in at your county registrar's office or drop box. That is the best thing you can do to make tomorrow better. I ask everyone to be patient. We are, in effect, all in this together. When we started this year, we thought rolling out our new verifiable paper ballot system would be the hardest thing to do. No one predicted that COVID-19 would change everything we do, and its impact on elections is real. I want to thank all of the 1.2 million voters who have already participated. That takes pressure off our election day polling places. And I want to give a special shout out and special thank you to all of those elections and poll workers who have worked over the weekend and today, and will work even longer hours tomorrow to make Election Day a success. They deserve a thank you from all Georgians. Thank you for your time coming out today.